Dr. Ken Dixon and I are so excited to start off this Facebook Live event, and we're going to just share details today about our company, SpeciCare, and our role in caring for cancer patients. My name is Leah Streuber, and I head up operations and HR. Before I introduce Dr. Dixon, however, let me just give you a brief background on SpeciCare. Our company was founded in 2015, born out of Dr. Dixon's desire to do more for his patients. He was tired, quite frankly, of telling his patients that there were no more options. So, armed with his personal expertise and distinguished service in the healthcare industry, he set out on a journey that led him to tumor tissue and its power to create more options and new hope for all cancer patients. Dr. Dixon is a board-certified cancer surgeon with over 35 years of experience treating cancer patients. He graduated with a BS from Davidson College and an MD from Emory University. He completed his residency in general surgery at Emory-affiliated hospitals and a surgical oncology fellowship at MD Anderson. I am so thrilled today to co-host this event with Dr. Dixon, and our topic is going to be why cancer patients should own their own tissue. But Dr. Dixon, before we begin on our topic today, why don't you share with those that have joined us why you started SpeciCare?
Good afternoon, Leah.
Hi.
Are you always this polished up in the afternoon while we're doing the COVID thing?
I had a lot of coffee this morning, so that's probably why.
Well, I had a long career as a cancer surgeon here in Gainesville, Georgia, and I took care of many patients with cancer, and the victories were wonderful. And the defeats, the losses of patients were difficult. And I began to realize many years ago that each cancer is unique and each patient should have cancer research done for him or her. That's not the traditional way of doing things, but that's why we started SpeciCare for those reasons.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, to start off our topic for today, Dr. Dixon, why don't you tell us what typically happens to tissue after surgery?
Well, the way I handled it all of my career, essentially for over 35 years, was you take a tumor out and then you put it over in a pan and put it in formalin, and that would fix it so that the pathologist could look at it under the microscope and tell you what the tumor tissue was and give you an idea about the standard management of the patient. But a number of years ago, we learned that if you keep the tumor tissue alive, you can test it, and that's done in significant amounts by the biotech and pharmaceutical industry, but it's not done for patient benefit. So what we are starting to do now across the nation and to some extent the world is to save the tumor tissue in a living form so that we don't fix it, we don't kill it, we keep it alive and ship it off so that it can have two things done with it. One is you can save it for another day, for testing another day by cryopreserving it, just freezing it to keep it alive. And the other thing you can do is you can test it against drug panels to see what chemotherapies, what targeted therapies will work. And then you've got it for testing, and you've got it for subsequent research.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I know that one of the things that we really are a proponent of, and part of our service, is that we give ownership of the tissue to the patient. Why is that important, and what are the benefits of the patient owning their own tissue?
In today's world, if the pathologist in the local hospital takes control of it, it's not consented appropriately so that it can't be researched for the patient benefit. It's not kept alive so it can't be researched for the patient benefit. And until the time comes that all institutions are bought into the idea that the patient should have research directed to the patient's own benefit, it's necessary to get rid of those institutional walls.
Got it. Okay. And then what are the steps then that a patient needs to take to get control of their tumor?
Well, the first thing that they need to do is know about it. So that's why we're having this event, and we'll have subsequent events. But once the patient knows, or the patient's family knows that the tumor tissue should be saved, then he or she just needs to make sure that their doctor is aware of that. We've got the appropriate consenting, the appropriate agreements, so that the patient just says, "This is my tissue. Take part of it to use for standard diagnostic work, but give the rest of it to me," and that's what needs to be done. If that statement is made prior to the biopsy or prior to the surgery, then the patient takes control.
Got it. So why don't you talk a little bit then about how SpeciCare can specifically help the patient, and maybe a little bit about what our patient advocates do and their role in helping patients?
There where the rubber meets the road. So we've got all of the paperwork done. The documentation has been done through attorneys, and the patient advocate talks to the patient and the patient's family, and just tells them, sign the documents, talk with your doctor, and then we take care of the rest. We send a kit to the hospital or to the patient so that it's available in the pathology department. And there in the pathology department, the pathologist or technician takes part of the tissue and puts it in the fluid that will keep it alive. We send it off, and then that starts the process of work with the patient.
Okay. And does a patient have to change doctors in order to use our service?
No, the doctor just needs to be aware of the service, and then we will, Nick Prochak or one of the PAs will talk with the doctor, or I will. And as we expand this, we'll have additional people. But the goal is to make it as easy for the patient and the family as possible.
Okay. And do doctors holistically or just in general know about the benefits of storing the tissue live at this point? And do they understand the benefits?
We've got a lot of work to do. I won't get into this too much, but we've only known for about 10 or 12 years that we could keep the tissue alive. We've only known for about the same length of time that each tumor is unique. So research in general has been done for the population of patients, not for the individual patient. But actual personalized precision medicine really means saving the patient's own tissue and doing the research for that patient.
And why is this not standard of care currently?
It's just too new.
Okay.
There's, if you look at the history of things over 10 years, it takes a long time for people to become aware of it. And we're working diligently to let doctors know and patients, the general public know. And again, that's why we're doing it.
Okay. All right. Well, I know for sure that our goal as an organization is to offer patients custom cancer treatments beyond standard of care, not excluding cancer care, but in addition to. And our time today, obviously is just scratching the surface on introducing SpeciCare to our audience and discussing why patients should own their own tissue. Why don't you talk to us a little bit, about maybe some upcoming topics that you would like to discuss on these Facebook Live chat events?
Well, as we talked about it, Leah, I'm interested in giving my viewpoints, and probably about every other meeting we can bring in some of the people that are in this industry. But we need to talk about the importance of the patient being in control. We need to talk about the drug panel testing that's being done, the ability, so that rather than basing the decisions about what chemotherapy to be used on studies over populations of patients, we're actually using a drug that works for the patient's own tumor. There are just a lot of topics like that. The ideas about what other, if we collect tissues, we're basically collecting a whole bunch of experiments that can be done for that patient. About that. And we want to bring in some of the researchers that have different viewpoints about the research that should be done for the individual patient. So I'm enthusiastic about the opportunities to get this out in front of the general public.
Definitely. Well, for those of you that are listening and or watching us live, we urge you to check out our website at SpeciCare.com. You'll find a wealth of information out there about our company and what we do. And if you have questions or want more information, please give us a call. Our number is 833-242-8373, or you can contact us via email at info@SpeciCare.com. And as Dr. Dixon mentioned, we have a lot to share with you, and we hope that you will join us on upcoming live Facebook events. We are going to have special guests who are experts in the industry. We're going to talk about how we can put cancer tumors to work for the patient, whether it's growing or testing the tumor tissue outside the body, and so much more. We're also going to give a go. Hopefully it'll work. We're going to try to do live Q&A sessions also. So Dr. Dixon, I think that this is a great introduction to our audience about SpeciCare. We're so happy that you guys joined us for our live chat today. Again, please check us out at SpeciCare.com. Reach out if you have any questions or comments. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, share us with your friends, and we thank you so much for joining today, and stay safe.
And we're on 4:30 next Thursday.
I believe we are. I think that we'll have another chat session next week at 4:30 on Thursday. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.